Hey everyone. So, I was put over by the police last night. Yeah. So, to introduce this story, decided I'd do this format and then launch into the video footage. So, there I was, cruising over to my friend's house who lives downtown, and it was about maybe 6:45, 6:50 p.m. at night. I'm on the interstate. And the portion of the interstate that I'm on is 55 miles per hour. 3-lane interstate. And, you know, my little tagline on all my videos is life in the fast lane, because I don't like to go slow. I don't really know anyone who likes to go slow. So, I'm going fast. And you know, the police officer who did his job, and he did it very well, because I had no idea where dude came from. He wasn't on the side of the road, and or up ahead. He actually came from behind, and like a ninja, just out of nowhere. Space aliens could have descended and just beamed his car down on the interstate, and I would have not known anything different. I looked at my cameras. You know, I have the helmet with cam 1, and then I also have the one that points to the rear. And I know dude merged onto the interstate after one of the entrances to the entry ramps to the interstate. This is I-20. And I can see it on the camera. But as far as what point he decided to pick me out, I have no clue. Because where he merged on, he must have already known he was going for me. Which makes me believe that he was up on the bridge. But when I go back through my footage and I'm looking at the helmet cam when I go through the bridge, and I'm looking all along the bridge. I mean, I pause it and I look, I don't see anything. So while you're watching this, you know, feel free to see if you see a cop anywhere, because I sure don't. And at least not in the front. So anyway, this is Richmond County that I'm in, which is notorious for giving people tickets anyway, and they love this section I-20 that's 55 miles per hour for the speed limit. And no one really goes 55 miles per hour. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand why you have a 3-lane interstate where you can't have people moving at a pace faster than 55. If I cruise down to Atlanta, you know, you got 3-4 lanes right there, and the speed limit is like 70 miles an hour. People can handle it, but no. You want to have your county set the speed limit because you're Augusta, the city, and you want your county and the city to leave the speed limit at 55. So you can have your cops and you can get your revenue, because no one wants to go 55 miles an hour on an interstate, which is rant number 1 for this whole thing. So anyway, the officer, who I'm not going to mention his name, did a good job. He smirked at my camera when he walked up to my bike, because I looked at my footage for that too, and he's kind of, you know, like, what is that? When he walks up to the back of my bike, because he's got to come up to me first, and he's like, what is that? And you see it real, you know, the realization comes over his face. He figures out that it's a camera on the back of my bike. So by the time he gets up to talk to me, you know, I got the big one on top of my helmet anyway, that he's just all business. And he asked me for my license, and I couldn't hear him because, you know, I still have my helmet on. They never tell you what to do when you get pulled over by the police and you're on a motorcycle. No one tells you these things. So, you know, if you're in a car, put your hands on the steering wheel, man. 10 to 2. You just leave it right there. And you wait for him to tell you what to get. So I'm like, okay. So when I get pulled over, I'm thinking about, you know, what am I going to do with my hands? Is he going to be afraid I'm going to bolt? You know, all these things that you hear and that you're concerned about, because, you know, I'm not going to be one of these people that's going to sit there and argue with the cop. That's not the place where you want to argue. You go to court and you argue at court. And I already knew that I was going fast for the area. And he wrote on the citation 80 miles per hour in a 55. So I did get a ticket. And it is right here. So here's the paper proof. Speeding 80 into 55 in violation of the particular code, the ordinance. And I love that you can now pay online at augustagaga.gov to pay your ticket online, because I'm sure they just want people to go there and just pay their tickets. They would love nothing more for people to stay out of court and just pay their fines. And I got nailed by the Heat Division of Richmond County. So there's like 3 souped up Dodge Chargers that they have, or at least they had in April when they made the announcement on the news, because I did a little research. And the Heat Division of Richmond County got 3 souped up Dodge Chargers with the full package, full police package and everything. No markings, at least not on the front or anything. No light bar on the top. So you're looking for Dodge Charger in the video, and no light bar on the top. So just keep an eye out. And let's see. So yeah, it's the Highway Enforcement of Aggressive Driving or something like that. So their main thing that they go for is people who are aggressively driving, which I guess you can count speeding as being aggressive, and also DUIs. And the particular officer that pulled me over actually has a pretty high number output for tickets, as far as he was awarded by the Mothers Against Drunk Driving for something like 300 plus DUI arrests last year. So kudos to him. I got nothing against the officer. He did his job. He followed me. Well, he came after me. I had no idea that it was a cop car until I was like, this person's not acting right. And then so I go to move over. It's being nice. Moved over, let the faster traffic go. And when I moved over, and then he went behind me. I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be a cop. And sure enough, woo! Lights come on, and I got no choice but to comply. I mean, there's always a choice, but I'm not gonna be stupid. So off I go to the side of the road, and he comes up, and like I was saying, what do you do with your hands? And so I'm sitting there thinking about it. And, I'm just sitting there, and I put my kickstand down. There's pros and cons for doing that. If you think about it, side stand down, you're not going to be able to start your bike up in gear. It's going to cut off. But I guess tactically, if the side stands down, I don't have to balance the bike with my legs, so I could just fly off the motorcycle and attack the officer. You never realize what they're thinking. And I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes. I understand, hey, it's a police officer. He's just trying to do his job. He just wants to go home at the end of the day. Just like me when I go to work. I want to go home at the end of the day. So I'm not going to do anything to aggravate or put an officer in a position where they don't feel safe. So when he comes up to my bike, and I have my helmet on, I haven't been told to do anything at this point. So I'm not just going to start moving all around and make a guy think, what's he doing? What's he rummaging around for? Why he's taking his helmet off? What's he doing with his bike? That sort of thing. So he comes up, and he asks me for my license. And we're on the side of the interstate. There's cars going by. It's loud. And I have my helmet on, so I can't hear him because he's not talking loud enough. So I tell him I need him to talk louder because I'm wearing my helmet. And so he didn't take too kindly to that, but he spoke up and he's like, can I have your license? So I give him my license. And then I also hand him my concealed carry permit because, believe it or not, I have my pistol on my bike because I'm going downtown. And I carry my pistol when I go downtown because you just never know. And there was one night I was downtown, and 30 minutes after I left the area, the place where I was at, there was a shooting. So good thing I got out of there in time, but you just never know. So I did have my pistol with me. So when he has me pulled over, I hand him my license and I hand him my concealed carry permit. And I don't know why, but he never followed up with, why did you hand me your concealed carry permit? I don't have to throw it out there that I'm carrying a pistol. That was just for me to let him know, hey, here's my concealed carry permit because there's a weapon involved here. And from what I know and what I've read, which is mainly what I've read, because I've yet to ever have a cop take my pistol and go run the serial number on it, which, you know, I don't know what that's all about. But, I mean, I know why they do it, but I don't know why he didn't press to say, hey, what's up with this? You know, you handed me your concealed carry. Do you have a weapon on your vehicle or on your person? That would have been, you know, or do you have a weapon in your possession? That probably would have been the better question. So I'm not sure why he didn't ask me for that. So, anyway, he takes my information, you know, my license and my concealed carry permit, and he walks back to his vehicle. So, you know, you do the little waiting thing, and, you know, at that moment in time, you know, he comes back out with the ticket book. So I'm like, okay, well, he's already got his ticket book out. So the only thing he ever asked me for was, where are you going? And can I have your license? That's pretty much it. And I guess being a high output numbers guy, he just wants to go ahead and write me the ticket and get back on the road so that he can go ahead and pull more people over. So there was definitely something going on that night with an amount of cars that police had pulled over, because I came back like 4 hours later along I-20 to return home, and there was 2 other police cars that were on that stretch right where I was pulled over at, and they had people pulled over too. So I assumed that they were doing this all night. And then when I'm coming home today from work, there was yet another Richmond County cop that had somebody pulled over off on the interstate. So I'm assuming that maybe they're racking their quota up early. It's only the middle of the month, so I'm not quite sure. And, you know, they always say, oh, we don't have a quota. Whatever. You have a quota. So, you know, you can't just be a cop and not have any tickets, because they're going to be like, what are you doing? So you got to have some tickets. So, you know, I'm polite. I say, yes, sir. Yes, officer. I don't lip off at all. You know, like I said, I think that my cameras, with them being on, if he does have a personality, when he saw my cameras, that probably ruined any shot of having, you know, him cracking jokes or whatever it is police do. Because I've been pulled over in the past, and I've met some pretty cool cops. One notable police officer that had pulled me over and cited me for too fast for conditions. This is when I was early 20s, or maybe late teens. I was in my truck at the time. This is the very first time I've ever been pulled over on a motorcycle. But I was in my truck. And he's like, do you have anything here we need to know about? Do you have any bazookas, rocket launchers? You know, and he just started out with like these really big things that no one would ever have in their vehicle. So I was like, man, that's awesome that you would do that. But then I get Mr. Dry Personality police officer who just pulls me over, you know, where are you going? You know, that's pretty much the only thing he asked a question of me, and then demanded my license, took my stuff back to the car, came back out, had the ticket book in hand, and went through the normal spiel of, I'm going to go ahead and give you the citation because you were speeding, you were doing 80 and a 55, and where do you work? And I writes that in there, and you can appear in court on such and such a day, which is January. You know, here it is October, and I got a court date for January. Like, what do you must be writing citations out the wazoo if I have to wait to January. That's like 2.5 months away. So, wow. And getting a court date. So, but maybe they give people time to plan to get time off from work or something. So anyway. So yeah, just came out of nowhere. Oh, and then, you know, he comes up and he just gives me this, and pretty much, you know, that's it. Be careful getting back on the road. Gee, thanks. I'm on the side of the interstate. I think that one's pretty obvious. I mean, it's not like I caused an accident. In fact, I've never had any accidents on a motorcycle other than when I was 16, and that's a story for another day. But that was all me. There was nobody else involved with that one. And, you know, I pretty much for the last 6 or 7 years have had a clean driving record. I've had speeding tickets in the past, so, you know, maybe I'm due to get one now, or I just got one, so maybe I was due. And you know, it's life in the fast lane, let me tell you. So it's going to be life in the slow lane for a while. Like I was coming home from work today, and I was going the speed limit, so everybody was passing me. So don't know how I quite feel about that. I actually feel safer when I'm going faster, and I'm not stuck around the same people and going slow. But to each their own. I think it would have been more proactive for him to actually try and get the people who were texting while driving, or weaving back and forth in the lane, that sort of thing. Not some guy who is paying perfect attention to where he's at. Yes, I was traveling faster than most of the other vehicles, as you'll see in the video, but again, no distractions, perfectly focused. I'm signaling with all my lane changes that I do, multiple head checks. So, maybe he just doesn't like people on motorcycles. I don't know what his deal is, but regardless, he's doing his job. Everyone's got a job to do. So he did his job. He did it well. He was a ninja, pulled me over, and that was pretty much it. So, yeah. And because I have respect for the police, I'm not gonna show any of the interaction between us, because like I said, that I'll give you that verbally what had happened there, but I'm not gonna plaster his face all over YouTube and be like, "Oh my God, you cruddy cop! I can't believe you gave me a ticket." No, he did his job. So you got to give credit where it's due. So the fine, looking this up, it's something like $300, right around there, and then luckily for me, the Georgia super speeder thing. So if you're going 30 over and you're on 3-lane interstate, or just on the interstate, then it's an extra $200 just for the super speeder thing. Excuse me. So 80 and a 55, not super speeder. So that's cool. And not that I was going that fast to get a super speeder anyway. But yeah, so don't have to worry about that. And let's see. I did have a passenger on the bike with me at the time, which was rather entertaining, because she had no idea that I was getting pulled over. Because the way the mirrors are, I can see what's behind me, but she can't, because they're not angled for her. So when I flip the hazards on and I start going over and pulling off, she's thinking, what's going on here? And then she realizes, oh, it's the police. So awesome times. So I hope you watched my my video of the Richmond County Sheriff's Department pulling me over for speeding, writing me a citation, and those cars look really sleek. So yeah, hopefully I don't run into the police again anytime soon, unless it's for a good reason. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, and there was a point where a motorcyclist went right on by when I was pulled over, and you could tell dude was feeling for me. He was like, "Oh man, there's a motorcyclist on this side of the road that got nailed." So, and I feel the same way. Every time I see a biker on the side of the road that's got the police officer right there, I'm like, "Oh man, dude, I feel for you." So, at least I had the support of my fellow biker community, with me when I was on my bike.